All right, Igbanke people in Edo State, they keep saying that they are Igbos. But now I have found out what really is the problem, or what is going on the social media, that it looks as if, there is no common goal or focus when it comes to that Igbanke, Anioma issue. The same thing with Anioma people, the same thing applies to this Igbanke issue that we are talking about. Yes, majority of Igbankes, they have group, they have organized group in Igbanke that wants to leave Edo State because the way they are being treated is not fair to them. You see, they are not being treated fairly, that's why they want to leave. That's one thing I keep saying. If you don't treat people fair, they will look for a way to survive. And every human being wants his or her name to be heard. You see, if we are eating food and there are two meats inside the pot and we are two eating the food, you don't need anybody to tell me that you eat one meat, I eat one meat. Already we have shared it. But some communities, to be in Edo State, they are not recognized politically and otherwise. That is where the problem is. Okay, now, I said that I've discovered some things. Yes, the majority people of Igbanke and the car, they are speaking with one voice. In fact, they have been attending the meetings of Ohaneze. The ones that we are having in Enugu, anywhere they are having meeting of Ohaneze meeting, Igbankes don't miss to be there. You see, so what happens is that there are some few people among them. The same thing happens to Ika people, Anioma people. Though Igbanke is part of Ika. Few people that are causing this problem that makes it look as if they are not part of Southeast or they don't want to join Southeast. Another thing they will do and they have never explained is that they will say, they don't want to join Southeast, but they have never given any reason. All this why they have not given any reason why they don't want to join their brothers in the Southeast. Meanwhile, this agitation is not today that it started. That started centuries ago. You see, do it? Well, let's hear what this man said. He said he's an Igbanke man. He is insisting that they are Igbos, they are Ika, they are Igbos, and nobody can stop them. We have a lot of videos like that I have seen and I have heard. Then we will come back and will now enter the second part, of which is quite very, very interesting. Because some people, something or the other might make them to cross over to the other side.
Benin people gather here, Edo people gather here, Nigeria gather here, Igbo, Ekilemono, Totomane. I don't know why the Benin people always be jealous of what Igbanke people is doing. Igbanke is a community in Edo State, not in Benin. But Benin people, anytime they heard that Igbanke people make a move for their success and their greatness, there will be envy and jealous. I want to tell the world today that Igbanke cannot be a Benin. Igbanke is an Igbo speaking community in Edo State. With that, our identity, our culture, our heritage are proof who we are. No need for we to be fighting because we don't fight war with anybody. We are saying the reality that we are autonomous community, that the federal government and the state government should recognize Igbanke as an Igbo in Edo State. And this proposal of Anioma state creation, we all are together. We fight the same Mekumeku war before the civil war. Igbanke is an ancient Ndembo. Where you know what Ndembo? If you are a Benin man, if you can tell me what is the meaning of Ndembo, put it on comment section. It's only a man know the meaning of Ndembo. That is why we are telling the Benin people. You see us with Senator Ned, you see us with Ohaneze, see us with, we are moving with our brothers. That is who we can move with.
Please, sir, can you tell us your name?
My name is Pastor Nwachukwu Igbanke James. I am from Igbanke, precisely Oligi.
Okay. It seems like you attended the Igbo Unification project yesterday, which was organized by Asobia. Can you tell us why you decided to join and attended the program?
Now, the conference that we attended yesterday and the day before yesterday is titled Igbo Unification on the Asobia.
Yes.
And we mobilize our people from Igbanke to make sure that Igbanke people was properly represented. And you can see that I opened the prayer yesterday in recognition of our active role in the project of Igbo Unification. So that is to say that our identity as Igbo people is not, and that is no more in question. We have the Igbo blood, because everything that is ascribed to us as the Igbanke people, the Igbo tag is always there. You call us a Kaibo people, you call us anything that is identified with us has Igbo connotation. Our language is a Kaibo language.
Hold it there as your thoughts. Let me cut you short. Speaking on this Eka Igbo language, it has been a lot of conflict on social media, most especially, when some people want to make a distinction that Eka is different from Igbo. Can you tell us the difference, please, sir?
Now, I am a linguist. I was trained as a linguist in the university.
Okay.
Now, we were taught that every language has dialect or dialects. What is a dialect of a language? You know, for example, the English language. The English language has only one native. It's from only one country, Britain. But you have a lot of Englishes. You have the Jamaican English, American English, the Nigerian English, Kenyan English, Pakistan English, Indian English, Australian English. Every country have their own English. But the mother of all the Englishes is the British English.
Makes sense to me.
All of them originate from Britain. Why they are now ascribed as Englishes of different locations is that as people travel with the English language has the ability to take features, characters from people cultures. You know, the language behave as people behave.
Okay.
So geographical location, meeting diverse cultures. So you now begin to see that other influence of other language now begin to come to a language.
Okay.
So you now become the language of that particular people. That is exactly what happened in Igbo language. Now let me tell you one thing. People don't know that a car language is not the only dialect of Igbo language. In Item, you have their own dialect of Igbo. Afikpo, Abriba, even Onisha, even Newi. Somebody told me, a chief told me yesterday that in Newi, where it comes from, that they have a neighboring village, that they have their own dialect that the neighboring village do not understand. So, Igbo language, like also Yoruba language, you have the Yoruba language they speak in the Ekun people. You get my point? It has a kind of variation. Okay. So that is why we are Igbo by language. The Ka language is an offshoot of the Igbo language. Now look at all the nouns. How do you know a language that is a dialect of another language? In a Ka language, all the Igbo nouns is what we have. My name is Nwachukwu, Ngozi Chukwuka. In fact, that is the name we bear in Igbanke. And those are Igbo names too. You mention things like Gi, Nji, that's Yam, Unni, Uri, Ofe, Miri. So everything is the same. So we are Igbos, both by culture, both by dressing.
But there's I don't want to call it a lie. I don't want to assume I know the truth. You being from Igbanke should know better this. Some Benins claim that some of these things you are saying as a result of corruption by the Igbo, that they are originally Benin words and name, but Igbo corrupted. Like there's a Chime story where they say the Chime is a Hime, but corrupt to Chime, or Ikime, and corrupt to Chime. Do you get what I mean? So what do you have to say about that?
Now, I want to use a particular balance that says he that is down fears no fall. We are in a battle with the Benin. We are battling for our life and our culture. So we should bring everything to the fore. During the Nigerian Civil War, our people in Igbanke were killed in Benin. We were killed the same way the Igbos were killed. They call us Owika or Igbo. When Edo State was created, they now took Igbanke to a particular place called Owude local government. Those people, they are Benin people. They said they will never cohabit a local government with the Igbo people. That is a car. They know us as Igbo people. They discriminate against us. So the every Benin, even the upper Benin knows that we are not Benin. Let me tell you, how do you know people's identity or tribe? The major part of a culture of a people is their language.
Yes.
Language is the nexus or the forerunner of a culture. You know people by the language they speak.
Exactly.
So we have been known with the Igbo language.
Okay.
Now, any other person saying that it's a Benin, now you have been in Igbanke. Do you hear anybody speaking Benin language in Igbanke?
No, sir.
Please, you are not witness now. I see people in Igbanke.
Yeah.
Do you ever see anybody, a little child, speaking Bedo language in Igbanke?
No, sir.
So why do you not become a Benin people? Okay, now does it mean that we woke up one day from Igbanke, then the Igbo people now came and brainwash us, remove all our Benin memory and now plant the Igbo memory in us?
And that's what most of them are claiming. That's why I use the word claiming. But okay, I understand you. Let's move away from this quickly. One, you who attended the conference yesterday, and I want to understand, should I say, what do you have to say about that conference?
Now,
as we are
that
represented?
conference, I want to plead with you in the press, most of you, Bezwe and Almighty Television Network. God bless you. Help us to advertise or publicize what happened yesterday. I spoke there as an Eka man. I spoke Eka language. Every other boys understood because the language is intelligible with the Igbo language. Exactly. No Kwane man was there. He spoke with no Kwane. Everybody understood. The Igbo man from Kogi, he was there. So do you see everybody spoke in his native dialect of Igbo language. And it was understood. So that is one thing I took from that conference. That no matter what we say, the Igbo man knows his brother, knows himself, anywhere you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Then there's another movement that the Igbanke people are championing, which is Anioma State. What motivates you people to champion this?
Now, the motivation is that the Igbo blood running us. You know, nobody is happy to lose his identity. We are in a situation where we are about to lose our identity in those states. Because we were in Bende State with our brothers in Agbo, Umunede, and Biri. All of us were in Bende State. Now, unfortunately for us, when the Bende State was divided into Edo and Delta, we were now left behind in Edo State. That is the only crime we have committed. Because there was nobody to speak for the Igbanke people. You remember the other tribe, the Yoruba people that were in Edo State? They wrote a petition to Babangida, but we didn't have people to fight for us. We were believing that our politicians will fight, not knowing that they are selfish. That is why you see that God now raised up, Bible said, out of the mouth of babies will I ordain strength. People that you cannot even imagine, small children like us, to now rise up to the occasion, to champion the cause of Igbanke, to join Anioma State. Anioma is where we belong. There's no way we can remain in Edo State because we have been subjugated. There's nothing coming to Igbanke. And even when you go to the House of Assembly, let me tell you one thing. There is no single signpost or symbol of Igbanke people there. No Eka signature. Everything there is a Edo signature, Benin signature. So that is a threat to our own culture. So that's why we are fighting that everybody in Igbo land to pry up Igbanke people to come out of this bondage, to join our brothers in Anioma State if created.
Thank you very much. This is wonderful development, and I love what you are saying and the passion you are putting in it. At least even myself, I'm moved. I'm persuaded to believe that you are ready to get it. But there's a thing that worries me. I'm a social media freak, and I've been looking at how it goes. So I want to ask a question. Are there Eka people truly supporting you people? Because I can deduce that you people are Eka. Are there Eka brothers who are truly supporting you people to be part of Anioma State?
Now, in our dialect of Igbo language, Eka Igbo, we used to make a parable that Ezeburu Popo in the Begwa, when the king holds a stick to go to battle, what do everybody follow?
Exactly.
Our 6 king and Igbanke are fully championing the cause of Anioma creation. You think if the king and Igbanke are not in support, how can people? We are not the one ruling Igbanke people. The king are the leaders. They are the one that the people listen to.
Exactly.
So we are now working in tandem with their belief and their aspiration.
Okay.
We are just a kind of branch of what they are doing. We are messengers of our kings. You see me here today. You saw the black people in the conference. We are representing our king. I told my king yesterday, one of our kings, I said, let me even tell you all the pictures they have been sending to them. They are fully aware. Even this one, as we finish the video, they are going to see everything. They know that we are fighting their cause. You know, you don't expect our king to be coming to the conference. I said when it is very, very important. Exactly. So we are the ones that are the errand boys, running the errand for them. So they are in support, and the people of Igbanke are very much in unity about the creation of Aloma State. All of us are suffering the pain of being under the Edo people.
My brother wants to ask you a question.
Yes, thank you very much for what you have said so far. Please, there is one question that is bothering me much. How many percent of Igbanke population speak Bini language?
God bless you. I am almost close to, I'm pursuing 60 years now. I want to tell you before God, I'm as a pastor. I want to speak, let God bear me witness, that in Igbanke, we have only, let's say we speak only one language. I cannot say we are monolingual because we still speak the English language. But in terms of Nigerian native language, we are monolingual. Eka Igbo is our language. Okay. Anybody here speaking Benin in Igbanke, he said that you are staying in Benin.
Okay.
As I don't know anything about Benin language.
Okay.
My father did not even speak Benin for one day.
Okay.
People today that you hear of Sasua in Igbanke. My brother, there are Amechi Arotimi Amechi is a Yoruba man. No. People can give names. You can walk under a man as your boss. You love the man loves you. Because of the man, okay, I will name my son after him. You may be an Igbo man, the man is a Yoruba man. You not give, that is how people give names. So names does not determine where you come from. It is the language and the culture that determine. In Igbanke, our language is a Igbo language.
Thank you very much.
No, we don't speak the Edo language in Igbanke.
Thank you very much. To wrap up this, I have another simple question. What do you have to say to those that are agitating for the Anioma, and mostly those who are in the forefront agitating for the Anioma actualization, and how do we appreciate them, sir?
You see, I want to first of all call our father, Senator Ned Nwoko, because the work he's doing is like Anioma State has been a bone in the neck of Nigeria. People like Osadebe, so to say, they fought for this Anioma State. Am I talking?
Yeah.
People have been for ages. But the kind of momentum that our father, Senator Ned Nwoko, is moving this agitation with is something to be commended. I want to commend his sagacity, his sense of commitment, and his ability to be able to carry out the Anioma people. We were in New York, we were in Ikotekpene for the Senate hearing on creation of Anioma. You know, I spoke there for the Igbanke people. Our people were in Enugu, we were in Bayelsa. I saw what we call a unanimous agreement. You can even see what we saw now before we came here. All the Anioma indigenous, the Okwane, the Osimiri, everybody is in support of the creation of Anioma. There's no dissension. There's no way I've seen that people are saying we don't want Anioma state. So his ability to carry these people along is what should be commended. So I want to commend him for that. And secondly, people like Igbo TV, you have done so much. Almighty TV, Deputy Jesus, Okwani Igbo ancestor, you have done so much to publicize this whole affair. And I will not stop here if I don't acknowledge the people in Igbanke. I want to acknowledge our kings in Igbanke, the 6 kings in Igbanke. I want to thank them for giving us the impetus to run with. And at the same time, there are 2 major groups in Igbanke that are fighting, that are the pillar, the backbone of this championing the cause of the Igbanke joining Anioma State. You have the Agricultural and Socio-Cultural Initiative led by Ezo Kosisi and our Ebo man Zuka. It's your man. It's always the representative in the East. And myself, as the spokesman of the group, Pastor Nwachukwu. And at the same time, we have the strategic group. These 2 groups are the ones fighting for the creation of Anioma. And I want to mention our brother Judo Bekile. Judo Bekile is one that helping us to coordinate the activity of strategic. So we are working in tandem. We are working in unity. There's no problem in Igbanke. Everybody, we're on the same page. We want to join Anioma State. So we are pleading to everybody, help us to come out of this bondage, to join Anioma State. Don't leave us behind. We are begging. Wow. So in your press activity, always tell people about Igbanke pride. Okay, God bless you.
Thank you very much.
This is how we wrap up this interview with Pastor Obekele. Thank you for coming to us, sir.
Thank you, sir.
That is an Igbanke man, and his Igbo is pure. He speaks clean Igbo. You know, though he's using Igbanke dialect, but some of the things he dropped in Igbo is very clear to every Igbo man. Okay. The other time I showed a video of a professor saying that they are interested in Anioma, but they don't want Anioma that will be in the south. It's the same thing Okowa said. Everybody is entitled to his own opinion. But this same professor is the person that has been championing the Igbos everywhere, Igbos of Ikwere, Igbos of here. Now, Professor, my question is, tell me why. It is your opinion, no, but at least if you are saying something, you'll be able to back it up with some reasons. Okay? I want to know the reason why you decided that Anioma must remain in South-South. Just a simple reason. It's not in my position to ask, but you know, just to balance what is happening in that region. Because those people that say they want to join to Southeast, they give reason that Southeast is where their origin is, that they are their brothers, they want to stay with their brothers. Okay, now you that want to be in the South, what could be their reason? Just flash us. But before then, let's watch this clip. It's coming from people, Deputy Jesus, it's coming from people in Anioma. So you are hearing from the horse's mouth. Let's go.
We are very, very much interested in the creation of Anioma State. But we are not interested in becoming part of Eastern Nigeria. I've advocated, and I will continue to advocate, that all Middle-Eastern region, comprising today of Edo State and Delta, is big enough to become a region, to be split, to be divided into 4.
We are very much interested in the creation of Anioma State, but we are not interested in becoming some part of Southeast. We want the old Eastern region to be divided into 4. These are men who are still living in their past, even though they claim to be a professor. Exactly. After making this video countering this man, talking about the political system has changed, we are no more practicing Eastern region. In quote, what we have now is Southeast, and what we have now is South-South. We are presently, as the normal people, in South-South. There is a reason why we are asking for a state in Southeast. But before then, let me show you the video of this professor when he was interviewed by BBC. Makandi Bani no kuni de kazo. I've repeatedly said that this life is balanced. Now you choose not to stand well. Whatever reason that made you say one thing and have a different opinion later is none of our problem. But let's look into that video. I'll be back.
Archaeological discoveries have revealed that even before the arrival of Oduduwa, the legendary founder of Yoruba race, there were communities that had flourished. And many of these communities were Igbo communities. Igbo people are historically associated with massive movement from the Igbo homeland to neighboring areas. The destination of the Igbo people, or the destinations, have been northern Nigeria across River Benue. That's why I have Igbo communities in Kogi and in Benue State and some parts of Plateau. Apart from movement to northern Nigeria across Benue, the major destination of early Igbo migrants were Benin land, and Yoruba land. People talk more of Igbo migration to Benin. Most people don't know that that migration went beyond Benin to Yoruba land. We talk about how the Igbo were predominant in part of Yoruba land until, the legendary Queen Moremi delivered his people by trick and so on. Then on Benin proper, it's always said that those West Niger Igbo communities from between Benin and River Niger were Benin settlers or migrants from Benin. The truth is that early in their history, because of the fact that they didn't have enough land and they have rapid population growth in Igbo land, they could not move into the Atlantic to stay. And because central Nigeria had empires like Igala Kingdom that could, obstruct movement of Igbo into Ikala land, the only outlet for the Igbo people was Benin land. So majority of them moved there and settled there, became prominent. Some became chiefs, recognized by the Benin monarchy. But because of their audaciousness and the aggressive nature of the Igbo, ready to take advantage of situations, enterprising too, they ran into conflict with the ruling class. And so, over time, starting from the 16th century, they began to return to Igbo land. Not all of them crossed the river Niger back to their original source. Only Onitsha was founded by such returnees. Majority of the returnees established communities between Abudu and Asaba. These were not Benin people. So those who say that West Niger Igbo people were Benin people simply because they came from Benin, they don't have the full historical knowledge. They were founded by Benin settlers, Igbo settlers in Benin. They were returnees, what professional historians call reversed migrations. So that is it. Though when they settled in these communities, Oboloko, Iseluku, Iselenkpiti, Iselazaba, and the rest of them, Abo, more migrants came from Igbo land proper and joined them. Then people came from Igala to join the teeming population. So what I'm trying to say is that it is wrong to say that West Niger Igbo communities were Benin people or are Benin people. Some of them are Benin because when the Igbo were returning, it's not as if they did not return with Benin people. Some have Benin husbands and wives. So no community in West Niger Igbo is ethnologically or ethnically homogeneous, because every community is actually founded by the first set of arrivals and later swelled up by later waves of migrants. That has been the experience of West Niger Igbo area. So the Igbo people who are in West Niger Igbo land claiming they are not Igbo people, they don't know their history, and the Civil War has contributed to that. After the war, there was stigma attached to being an Igbo person, and there was persecution of the Igbo, which has continued. So people, because they want to be secure, to have security in Nigeria, they begin to drop the Igbo name, as has happened in Rivers State. They begin to claim that they are Benin or Igala, whereas they are Igbo people, right from creation. No, many of the towns and communities in Rivers State, they just remove the first name that makes it Igbo, so it sounds differently. If you are Wike and you remove N, you become Wike. For example, I'm not referring to the governor, but I can give you an example. All those communities in River State, like Inquere, like Andoni, they are all Igbo communities. Port Harcourt was established by Igbo people during the colonial period.
Now you have watched the video. What do you understand? The man narrated for 5 minutes how we are people who first of all settled in Ile-Ife. And this is why I've told you over the time why Onitsha is known as Onitsha Ado Nedu. Because Ado is part of Ile-Ife where Onitsha settled. And then when they were moving back, they also stopped over in Idu. And that's why they are called Onitsha Ado Nedu. And the man made it open for you to understand that whoever said that we are not Igbo is just lying. And we have admitted that in some of us, we have a mixture. The Osanagogo is in Abo today, but they are Benin. The Okunzu and Ubodu are Olukumi. The Igbo people are Igala. They were predominantly Igbos. These are fact and true. And intermigration has happened between us. Some of our people left here to settle in the southeast who are known to be Igbo today. And some of the southeast migrated to this place to be with us. Just as man have explained that we have intermigration. Some people come to join us, but we are predominantly, and when we say predominantly, over 70 to 80% of us are Igbos. And that is why the language you speak are Igbos. Whether they do see baka or this thing. I know the problem, the English is the problem. People think that when you say you're Igbo, you are from Southeast. No. Being Igbo does not necessarily mean that you are from Southeast. You are Igbo here. And some people from Southeast, some people in Southeast came from this place. Why some people here came from Southeast. But that does not mean that once you say you're Igbo here, you must come from Southeast. It's not true. Because we have different types of Igbo origins. The Nri version, the Su version, the Idu version. So you can trace different group that started the Igbos. But they are all one because they speak the same language, practice the same culture, and have the same names littered around. You know, do the same yam festival, practice the same market day, worship the same deity. These are fact and evidence that made us Igbos. It doesn't matter whether we are across the Niger or you are the other side of the Niger. You are typically Igbos. Now, back to what I'm saying before. Talking about Anioma State. This man said that we are Igbos. Why are they against us being zoned to Southeast? Because the first day you saw him saying, yes, he wants Anioma State. You know, why? That should be the question. Just like Okowa going up and down campaigning. That there's no Anioma son that is against Anioma State creation. But we want Anioma State with 9 local governments, the capital in Asaba, and it should remain in South-South. The question you should be asked is, why? Why are they saying it? These people are the ones who doesn't want Anioma State to be created, whether you like it or not. Because every possibility that made their statement true is impossible. It's called mission impossible. You can never achieve it. First thing, if you are Tinubu, Southwest has 6 states. South-South has 6 states. Will you create a state again and leave it in the South-South to become the 7th state of Nigeria? When Southwest, where you come from, are only 6, will you do that? If you are Tinubu, will you create a state and leave it in South-South so that South-South will have 7 states because you want to please some political people? So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. If you are Tinubu, would you do that? Is it possible that you can create? All of you say Tinubu, they play politics of tribalism, nepotism. He always favors the Southwest. Now, if you are Tinubu, will you create a state and call it 7 states in the South-South? Because some people have been agitating for Anioma for 73 years. You create the state and leave it in South-South and said, okay, yeah, my people should remain. Now that you know the way the things are. And if you're not Tinubu, but you still want to create a state, will you create a state for the South-South instead of solving the problem of the South-East, who are already 5, to equal it to 6? So you see that those who come out and say, yes, we know we are Igbo, we are this, but they prefer to remain in South-South, are not truthful. They are not truthful. They are politically not truthful. They are economic with their truth. These are people who want to make you remain where they are. They are trying to play with their hair. We not say we are Igbo, because I see some people in the comment section saying Okowa has never denied that he's not Igbo. Just that we can see the Igbo in the South. Yes, we already Igbo here in South. Yes. Using Okowa's statement from 2022, he's an Igbo man in South for the last 4 years. We're already in South. But if truly, according to him, no Igbo, no Anioma's son that doesn't, do you think it's possible to create a state in South? Then, if it's not possible, why are you saying you must be in South? That means you don't really want the state. You are just lying to the people because the people are foolish, the people are gullible. And that's why people like me are here to remind you that these are the people who are deceiving you. These are people who doesn't want good for you. That is the honest truth. Whether you like it or not, I will tell you to your face. The Okowa and these professors are the one who doesn't want you to have a state. They are just playing politics with you. Honest truth is honest truth. Whether you like it or not, or you don't, the truth does not care whether you like it or not, but it's going to be truth. Because the Nigerian government told you that at one state that was proposed sometimes last year, and they squash all of them and say only one should be created. Only one state should be created, and it should solve the problem of Southeast. So if there should be any state in Southeast, you should be a state that will be created. Even if not from Kogi, they cut and come. You should be a state that should be called Southeast State. If it's not Southeast, it's not solving any problem. Whether they are cutting it from River State or whether they are cutting it from, even if not Southeast, they cut down, it must be a state that will be created for Southeast. So if any man come and tell you, say, Anioma State is what we want, but it should be in South, the person is automatically lying to you. He can't be, people will say, two truths. No, two truths can never exist. There's nothing like two truths. Truth does not have two types. We should stop lying to ourselves, say, you're equally right, you're equally. No, you are trying to be neutral. You are trying to be in between. There's nothing like truth. Truth is truth. One is one. This is why I tell people that come and tell me, say, this is my own opinion about what I feel about church. You are saying that God has different opinions about what he feels about you. If truly what you are defining in the Bible, in the Quran is true, this is how God sees things in one place. One. God will not have two opinions. If God have option, that means Wala don't be that. If option A no work, option B will work. God has one option, and that option is A and Amen. It must be yes or no. Truth is the reality of life. You can't have two truths in the same question. Say you're equally right. No, there's nothing like equally. You are just making yourself to feel comfortable. You must accept the truth, which is the absolute truth, which cannot be equated with any other thing. When you say obese about bet, you have uttered what you said before. Once you to enter a place, you have uttered. So when you say, but he's also saying the truth. No, you have uttered the first one. BUT means that what you are saying before is not 100% correct. That's why you put BUT. That's why you put bet. You must understand this English, or that's why English not be a mate. When you see me talking about this, not because I know English better, but at least in terms of explanation and logic and psychology, truth is absolute. One, it can't be two. So anyone who tells you, say, yes, I'm an Igbo man, better, no, the person is lying to you. He knows that you don't understand. The government has given you this. Choose this so that you can be a state. If you're not going to Southeast, forget about it. So even if Okowa come today, tell you, say, he will campaign for Anioma State to come, he's lying to you. Because if the state is not going to Southeast, you are not going to get the state. Take it or leave it. If the state is not going to Southeast, you are more or less being a data person, and that is his intention. And I've explained this over and over, that if you go to Southeast, there's nobody in Southeast today that is coming to contest with us here. This land has been this land over the years. I used to make a joke with my friends. I said, look, land does not shrink. Land does not expand. But the distance to cover the land over the years keep reducing. you will not understand. I made this joke by telling people that if you are afraid of speed today, that means you won't live in future. Because in future, the speed of covering the land, the speed of getting to a one point to the other will reduce. There was a time going to Lagos takes 2 days. There was a time it takes 24 hours. Today, with plane, it takes less than 45 minutes from Abuja. And if with good road, it will take less than 6 hours. With good train, it will take less than 2 hours. Speed train. And the more they make cars, the more the speed, the more we complain about we want good road. We want good road. Once we say we want good road and we get the good road, the distance to cover Lagos to Abuja will be reduced. It will be reduced because cars will become faster. Good road will also help you to become more faster. It aid you more. So if you are afraid of speed today, you won't be able to live in future when car become more faster. Because technology increases the speed of the car. You can be saying, I will buy the fast car belonging slow. That means you will still be living in the ancient time while you're in the modern world. Get this thing, understand it. The land does not move. That's what I'm telling you. It's still the same land. The fact that they change nomenclature, like we in Delta State has been called before Western region. In fact, we started by Southern Nigeria. Then later they divide us into two, the Southern Nigeria. Call some of us, call us in the Delta State today to Western Nigeria. It has changed from West to Midwest. It has changed to Midwest now to present South-South. So that the fact that they name it Southwest does not mean that the land will relocate. The land no they move. Why they put and there's nobody coming from there to come to this place. Now, all of you admitted that you're able. This professor and Oko admitted that you're able. You admitted you want Anioma State, but you don't want it to zone to service. Why? Because you know that that Igbo you are claiming is just for lips. Because once it's called service, people will see it as an Igbo state. Bam! So let us stop lying. This is human psychology. We understand. You can't say that you... of course, we know I'm an Igbo man in South today. But of course, you know that it is still a question of argument. I say I'm an Igbo man in South. It's still a question of argument. People can say, you're not Igbo, you're forcing us to be Igbo. But once the state moves to the southeast, you can't constantly be arguing it again. So both Oko and this professor are just lying to you people. If they truly want the state, they should drop their ego. They should drop their pride. They should know they are not the only one that the state will favor. For Oko aside, me, I understand that it's because of his political career. He still wants to become the God of all, the Almighty decider. He's looking at what he will gain, not for the liberation of his people, not for the benefit of the old Delta North or the so-called state. I said it time without number. Okowa today is fighting to be a senator. But Oko is fighting for us to have a state where we can have 3 senators. So which one is better? When we have 3 people leading us, or when we have 1 person leading us? They even tell us that 2 heads is better than 1. But today, all of us are fighting for 1 person to lead us. When we can have 3 heads leading us in 3 different angles. We have 3.
All right.
Thank
All right,
you.
Mr. Benjamin. You know, I beg to differ when you say this is not about politics, but fighting corruption in Delta North. And it's also very important to say that this is an important group, I suppose. You do not speak or represent every young person in Delta North. Having said that, another truth is that, you know, some voters see this as a choice between experience and continuity versus a fresh push. And interestingly, I have read a statement from some of your members who say the season of one-man rule is over. And according to them, this is more than 3 decades of virtually uninterrupted political dominance by a single individual over a people who deserve diversity, inclusion, and opportunity in governance. So I'm asking you directly, just because you're here tonight, why should voters prioritize continuity with Senator Nwachukwu instead of returning to former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa? I mean, recently, former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa says Delta North people desire Anioma State to be created as part of the South-South geopolitical zone and not a block of the Southeast. Is this also because it's not part of the Anioma state agenda, and that's why you're coming up with some of these allegations?
Okay, talking about Anioma state creation, I can confidently tell you, as one of the critical stakeholders in the agitation for the creation of Anioma state, that we, the people, are Igbos. I am an Okwani man. I am an Okwani man, precisely from Obiaroko, the headquarters of Kwanli government area. We are Igbos. From the days of the First Republic, when we were in the Western region, we were being referred to as Western Igbos. When in 1963, Midwest was created, we were referred to as Midwest Igbos. From there on to Bender State, we were referred to as Bender. I believe all of these are facts that you are aware of. So when we are in the current Delta State, we are still being referred to as Delta Igbo. Now tell me, we carry the toga of Igbo, we carry the identity of Igbo. Our ancestry is obviously Igbo, even though it is not homogeneous. Is there anything wrong if we are reunited with our Igbo brothers across the Niger? Because what separates what you refer to as Southeast and Anioma is just the River Niger. It's just the River Niger.
All right.
So there is nothing that should stop us, if not for the politics of identity crisis, if not for the politics of who wants to get what. I see no reason why Senator Dr. Fanny Okowa should be opposed to the creation of Anioma State in the Southeast. We are Igbos. I am a proud Igbo man.
All right, then.
In Delta State.
All right, Mr. Benjamin. Great place to leave this conversation, and I wish you all the best in this fight against former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. Thank you very much for speaking with me. Ofochi Benjamin Atagana is the convener of the Coalition of Delta North Youths. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I want to officially thank Ofochi Atagana, the leader of Delta North Youth Coalition Movement. Thank you very much for doing justice to this question.
Well, you have seen it yourself, but if you ask me, I'll tell you that people that said a car must be in the South, I think they don't have good reasons. To me, or to my understanding, I don't see them. I don't think they have any good reason for that, if not for political reason. Political in the sense that, you know, what they want to get for themselves to always be relevant. Because they felt that if Ned Nwoko succeed in getting an Anioma state, that Ned Nwoko will become in charge as in he become the godfather of Anioma state. Well, that is what I thought. But Ned Nwoko, I don't really see him as such a person, though politicians can never be trusted what they are doing. Well, let me hear what you need to say about this until I come your way next.